The summarizer of the lesson was when students were to exchange their foldables that we had been working on during class, and they gave them to their partners across the table, and they went over each brief constructed response just word by word and edited them using a 4-point rubric. And the students were to give each peer a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4 based on how they cited text evidence, how they used correct conventions, if they indented, if they spelled their words correctly. And it was really important for the students to understand that if a peer grades theirs, a lot of times they feel more at ease knowing that someone their own age is looking over their paper and kind of giving them some tips and clues at what they can do to improve their writing. And when we finished that, we had a segment at the end of the lesson where the students took the footballs and actually got to kick them through the field goals if they scored 4 points on their foldable.
All right, I'm going to give everybody a 4-point rubric, and this is where you're going to summarize or actually wrap up what we've been doing the whole class period. And I want you to switch, not yet, with the person directly in front of you. So our groups are kind of crisscross, so you'll switch, not yet, with the person directly in front of you, and then I'll give you this rubric, and it's going to be off of a 4-point scale. We've been working with this all year with our brief constructed responses, and you're going to grade it accordingly. A 4, it means you are totally awesome, and that means you get to kick a field goal and you did everything correct. But in order for me to know that, the reader and the person grading is going to have to let me know exactly why they are so awesome. So I'll give this to you. Read it. We've been over this multiple times. I'll have one up on the board as well. And I want you to grade your partners. I'm going to stand off, let you do this by yourself. And if you have any questions, talk through it to yourself. You can do this. We've been doing this for a long time. Okay?
My students enjoy using the rubrics, and they're on a 0 to a 4-point scale, 0 being the worst and 4 being the best. We created them together using verbiage from the language of the standards. The students are familiar with that, and it also makes them accountable when they're grading to actually know still what is expected of them. And it makes the students feel comfortable because someone their age, someone that's close to them, is actually grading it, and they don't feel like there's as much pressure as if it were me grading them.
All right, guys, I'm going to ask you a question, but I want you to be prepared to tell me why your partner received the score that they did. So when you raise your hand, I want you to be prepared to tell me why your partner scored the score that they did. So raise your hand if your partner received a 4. All right, Miss Tamaya, I want you to tell me why you think your partner received a 4.
My partner received a 4 because they use awesome transition words like therefore, and they also cited great text evidence like Jeff Miller, the NFL Senior Vice President of Health and Safety, and she actually gave a quote about what he said.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to change gears a little bit and talk about some of the students or some of your peers that didn't maybe receive a 4, that got a 3 or a 2, and I want you to be prepared to tell me some reasons why they got a 3 or a 2. Did anyone in here have a partner who received a 3 or a 2? Okay, Ansley, will you tell me some examples of why you chose for them to have a 2?
She could cite more text evidence and be more detailed about her answer, and her grammar could be better.
All right, great, thank you. Now we're going to change gears and get everybody over to the football. So if your partner got a 4, Tamaya, Riley, let's go. All right, Tamaya's going to shoot a field goal for us because she's awesome. She got a 4 on her constructed response. And these are courtesy of Brent and Josie and AJ. So place it somewhere down on the table and go for the goal. Thump it. Oh, give them a round of applause. So going along with what we've learned today, in conclusion, it's important for us to remember that these tactics, maybe using the race method, using all of our right conventions, helping each other, checking and editing, are going to help us become better writers. They're going to help us have more mature writing, and it'll be better for all of our readers that are going to be reading after us. This is so important in everyday life and for testing and all of those reasons. How many of you feel confident about your brief constructed responses and you know you're going to be shooting a field goal later? Good. That's what I like to hear.
The overall goal of this lesson is to have my students develop a more rigorous approach when the writing process begins. And it was important for them to have a good foundation when they start writing these brief constructed responses. And as sixth graders, it's really important to begin now to kind of mold them and get them to where we want them to be. All of the aspects from the lesson, including the race method and the rubric that they used and the peer editing, help raise a sense of awareness, and overall it improves their writing.